Welcome to the Wednesday, June 21st, 2023 Garrison Board of Education regular business meeting. Go ahead and call the roll.
Jocelyn Apicello. Here. David Gelber.
Here.
Jennifer Harrington-Wilson.
Excused.
Courtney McCarthy.
Here.
Kent Schott.
Here.
Matthew Speiser.
Matt will be joining us in approximately 20 minutes, depending on New York City traffic.
And Sarah Tormey.
Here. All right, Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Next up, I have accept agenda changes. Do I have any recommended changes to this evening's agenda from anyone? Okay. Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby accept the agenda as presented. May I have a motion, please? Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Nays? Abstentions? All right, move on to Board President's remarks. I will be very brief this evening. I want to congratulate our teachers and our staff on a wonderful school year. Today was the last day. You made it. And congratulate our 8th grade graduates who will be graduating tomorrow, and everyone, of course, is welcome to attend. And then also just remind the board for the members who are moving forward with us, which is everyone here, we have our reorganizational meeting on Wednesday, July 12th, followed by our very fun day with our lawyers on July 15th, Saturday, July 15th. So mark your calendars. And then we will have another summer meeting in August, I believe the 23rd. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Joe, who has a lot of great news to share. Joe is filling in for Carl, who is attending his daughter's high school graduation this evening. So congratulations to Carl's daughter as well. All right, Joe.
Thank you, Sarah. So Carl asked that I read some information that he would like to share with you all if he were here. So he regrets that he cannot be present with you tonight to personally acknowledge the outstanding contributions of all of our employees and school board members. He does want to take the opportunity to express his heartfelt appreciation for their unwavering service and dedication to the school district. To Brian and Jeff, who have served in our transportation department and facilities departments for the past 2 decades, he extends his sincere gratitude. Their hard work and commitment to ensuring the health and safety of our students and staff has been invaluable. As you embark on your well-deserved retirement, we wish you good health and happiness in the next chapter of your lives. Marisa, we offer our warmest congratulations on achieving tenure. Your exceptional competence and professionalism shine through in every aspect of your work. From writing speech evaluations and delivering instruction, creating IEP goals, and actively participating in CSE meetings, you have consistently exhibited dedication and excellence. You're a valuable member of our special education department and school community. Congratulations. Lastly, he offers his deepest gratitude to Madeline and Matt for their years of dedicated service as school board members. We hold immense respect for both of you, not only for the knowledge and expertise you shared, but also for the significant time you invested in our district. Madeline, your architectural background and understanding of complex construction projects have been instrumental in guiding our district through a major renovation project. Your expertise and attention to detail helped us to ensure the successful completion of our renovation project. Matt, your knowledge and experience in the field of education have been a tremendous asset to our district. Your insights and guidance have helped shape policies and initiatives that prioritize the well-being and academic success of our students. Beyond your individual contributions, your unwavering commitment to the betterment of our schools and the success of our students is evident in every decision you have made. Your presence at our school board meetings will be sorely missed. Carl extends his sincere congratulations, best wishes, and gratitude for our retirees, our tenure recipient, and our board trustees. Your impact in our school district will be felt for years to come. Thank you very much. And I do have a couple more items, more business-related items. We did have some good news from FEMA. We have a approval for reimbursements for building and bus cleaning and disinfecting services of $154,000. So we were able to submit grant requests to FEMA, which are on the final stages of issuance of actual funds. So that's a good thing. So there's $154,000 that we believe is coming to the district soon, and that will help close the budget gap. And we're working on $236,000 additionally for the money for iTutor. That's an outgoing grant request that we're still looking to see if that one comes through.
I'm going to jump in here for the last line of this, Joe. Carl and the board, we all extend our sincere gratitude to Joe and the business office team for their hard work in pursuing this funding opportunity. Countless hours went into this, working with FEMA, and we really appreciate all the effort to secure these funds for our COVID-related expenses. Thank you, Joe.
Welcome. And Carl did some significant lobbying efforts with our new legislators, and Dana Levenberg has secured $135,000 for Garrison in bullet aid. And we expect that the legislature will make a final vote on that this week. Bullet aid is legislative or discretionary aid, and it's a form of funding that allows legislators to allocate additional resources to individual organizations and school districts. It's a one-time funding, so it helps us out for next year, but it isn't something that repeats. But there is no restrictions on what the funding should be used for, so that's good. And then finally, we want to offer congratulations to our 8th grade students and their parents. Over the past 3 years, in keeping with our strategic goals, we have worked hard to increase rigor and raise the bar on student performance. The results are truly impressive, with all of our students unofficially passing their living environment and algebra regents courses. This achievement is a testament to the efforts of both their students and the teachers who have supported and guided them through their middle school years. The many accomplishments of this 8th grade class highlight the positive impact of a supportive learning environment and the importance of high expectations. And we look forward to celebrating their many successes at our formal graduation ceremony tomorrow evening.
Thank you, Joe. Do I have any questions or comments regarding the superintendent's remarks? Just want to congratulate our teachers again, especially for the 8th graders, all passing living environment. Regents is a big deal. We moved to living environment regents for all, I believe, last year. And this is really a huge accomplishment that all of our students can do this. So big thank you to Mrs. Cook and and Mrs. Arbor and our science team. And congratulations to Mr. Roman for the algebra regents. All right. Now I'm going to move on to the award of tenure. So first we are going to do the request for approval, and then I'll invite Allison up. So here is our formal approval. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, does hereby award tenure to Marisa Gargaro, speech teacher, in the tenure area of speech, effective August 27th, 2023. May I have a motion, please? So moved. Second. Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Nays? Abstentions? Congratulations. All right, I'm going to invite Allison up to the podium for the formal presentation.
Thank you. I'm so excited for Marisa. Yay! Okay, let's see if I can read this because my eyes are getting worse. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I am so excited to be here, Marisa, to celebrate you. So yeah, I just have like a few words. I'll try to keep it brief. Just a few pages. There's a lot to say about you, Marisa. So I have known Marisa now for nearly 3 school years, and I've watched her grow exponentially into a confident expert in her field. Marisa is our highly effective speech and language pathologist. She is intuitive and develops highly engaging lessons through explicit instruction, through play, and through games. She is keenly aware of what her students need and differentiates her lessons and expectations. I find it fascinating to watch her in a group with 4 students with 4 very different needs, but somehow she manages to target each student's goals, engage the students intellectually, prevents frustration, all while collecting data for their records, and then simultaneously letting her students know she's proud of them and believes in them. She's giving out the stickers, she's filling out their, behavior charts. She just knows when to push and when to pull, when to reinforce and motivate while tapping into student strengths to compensate for their areas of concern. It's expert-level knowledge and service that our students receive from her, along with her care and her love. Marisa performs this highly intensive treatment called PROMPT. This therapy is for students who need more intensive interventions. It's for articulation and oral motor control. This is highly specialized, and it's an approach where Marisa literally gets into the mouths of her students, and she manipulates the muscles so the students can feel exactly how to pronounce certain sounds. Not every SLP has the training, nor has the desire to further their skills in this particular area of expertise. It can be invasive, it could be messy, but of course, our Marisa continues to stretch herself and challenge herself for the betterment of her students using approaches like these. Marisa is intentional in her planning and aligns her language lessons with our curriculum. She has sought training and support to incorporate reading skills, such as aligning articulation lessons to our Foundations Phonics program, so that things just make sense for students. Marisa also is actively involved in teaching the students mathematical concepts within our New Envisions program. She designs her support lessons to incorporate mathematical vocabulary and language concepts when she pushes into the classroom in order to enhance the teacher's instruction and reinforce concepts for our students. She also is a critical player in our middle school supporting students with language concepts in the areas of social studies and living environment, the Regions classes. The additional supports provided strengthens the students' comprehension and content vocabulary, thus allowing them to pass the Regents exams. Marisa is a key and important player who is threading the skills together across disciplines, which is unlike any SLP I have ever seen do. Marisa continues to be a critical participant in our RTI, CST, and CSE process. She offers insight and interventions based on the information gleaned from data presented at the meetings. Marisa is articulate and confident when delivering information at our meetings and listens intently to parent concerns. Over these 4 years, she has formulated trusting relationships, with the families and her colleagues, and she is viewed as a professional with integrity who is always willing and ready to support anyone in need, and she always goes the extra mile. Did you know she also is a coach for our girls' soccer team, an assistant coach? She's also a photographer and designs yearbooks. Did you see the yearbook? It's absolutely gorgeous. And she has a heart that is just full of love and empathy and goodness. Whether it's helping us to create new and innovative programs like our Bridge program for students with special needs, or finding ways to help organizations who support animals in shelters. This speaks to her character and what she stands for. I could cry. Tonight, I am honored to be here celebrating your tenure. You are deserving of this recognition and commitment from the Guffs community. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Marisa. All right. Next, I'm going to invite Joe up for the recognition of our retirees, Brian and Jeff. Take your time.
Come on up, Brian.
That's up to him. These are his people. This is his team. Come on in. Perfect timing. Just grab your seat.
Thank you very much. So it's really my pleasure to talk about you both as you prepare to retire. And, we're going to miss you terribly, obviously, but, we're looking forward to what comes next for you. So Brian has been with Garrison since 2007. He's greeted the students and the staff each day with a smile and helpful attitude. And when there's a problem in transportation, a lot of times people may be upset and things don't work right. And Brian is a very calm, nice voice to have on the other end of the line, and I think it's very much appreciated by everyone that you've met. He's been instrumental in having us have a safe and efficient bus transportation for our students, and has always looked out for ways to improve our efforts with the maintenance of our facilities and our transportation department. Brian is consistent, caring, loyal, and kind, and his gleeful nature will be greatly missed, but we wish you joy, health, and relaxation in retirement. Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you.
Jeff's begun his time with Garrison in 2000. He's witnessed many changes along the way. He's always someone that is here whenever we need him, rain, snow, sleet of night, when someone has to change their schedule, when we need help for meetings or things happening, Jeff is always there to help. He's been a constant, steady support, quietly going about his work to help maintain a safe and sparkling school for the students to arrive at each morning. Always willing to lend a helping hand and do so with a cheerful smile. The Garrison School will not quite be the same without him here each day. We wish him the best and good health and happiness in retirement. Congratulations, Jeff. Thanks a lot. And Dusty has a little token for each of you.
I just thought this summer, as you all are relaxing and enjoying your retirement, you could have this natural effect to keep the mosquitoes away. Enjoy a little solar light ambiance in the evening while you're enjoying with your feet up. So no candles required. So this is one for each of you. Brian?
Thank you.
And a card here from the Board of Education.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff, for you? Thank you so much. And personally, I'm also going to miss you all so very much. As my job here as the district clerk, I'm constantly reaching out to these guys for their help, and they're always at my beck and call. So thank you both so much, and I will miss you terribly. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Brian and Jeff. We are now going to move on to the recognition of board members. There's no formal resolution for this, so my thought was I wanted to, before Dusty unveils her amazing gifts for our members who are leaving us, Madeline and Matt, I wanted to maybe go around the table and invite anyone to say anything they wish to say about our members who are leaving us. David, I had a feeling you want to say something, so here you go.
Well, I mean, what can I say? These have been two amazing members of the school board, really great. I mean, truly so valuable. And I've learned a thing or two from this guy over here, generally over breakfast, but elsewhere as well. Madeline, I will hopefully see you plenty around. You've been just totally, the timing of your service to the board has been extraordinary. It really has been. Anyway, thanks, guys.
Can I just say that? I second that. Am I going to be the one who gets to do that now that Matt's leaving? Just say, totally. I just want to repeat what everyone else just said. But I'll stay on really quickly and just say, Matt and I got on the board at the same moment, so to say, and it was interesting to go through COVID, all of that, whole thing as like very, very new board members with you. I think it's exciting what you're doing, so it makes sense. You have to spend time on these other things that are now entering your life, and I think that's awesome. And the same thing goes for Madeline, who is now taking more time for your professional career, your family. Really appreciate your time and friendships. Gotta go around the table. Corner's up.
Ditto. I think what makes our board has been so successful the last few years because of how we have worked together. And it's not because we always agree. And I think often our most interesting discussions have been the ones where we don't fully agree. And I have learned so much from both of you. And I've always valued your insights. And thank goodness for Madeline that I didn't have to read all the change orders and try to figure out what they meant. And yeah, I read them for sure, but you don't want my interpretation. But I just always valued what both of you had to say about everything we've gone through from COVID and beyond. So thank you. I'm sorry to see you go. Good luck. Don't work too hard.
I'm really thankful I had the opportunity to work with both of you. I think more than anything, what I appreciated most, and I think what I learned personally from the most from both of you is just the way you would approach not an argument, but a challenge or a discussion. You're both so kind and so level-headed and rational. And it just, every time there was, like Courtney mentioned, any kind of disagreement or anything like that, you both approached it in such a way that you immediately disarm everyone and really bring everything down. And I think that's so helpful, especially in a situation like this. So I'm just really thankful that I had the benefit of trying to learn a little bit of that from each of you, and really appreciate your friendship, and so glad I got to know you both. So wish you both the best of luck, and certainly will miss you.
I just want to echo what everyone's saying and say thank you so much, both of you, for your time and your energy and devotion to the school district and the challenges we face. Matt, thank you for leading the facilities committee. I really appreciated that. Madeline, thank you for serving on the facilities committee and bringing your expertise to it. And Matt, thank you for bringing your knowledge of curriculum, teaching to the table and sharing it with all of us. I think you did it in a really wonderful way where you were here to inform us without looking to tell anyone how to do their jobs, but really share information and support the wonderful work that's happening here. That's been invaluable. I think you want to say something. So before I give you the microphone, though, I also have this wonderful Board Achievement Award for Madeline, who, from the New York State School Board Association for leadership development training. She completed a lot of training, and they wish to recognize it. Kind of sad that you left after getting all that training, but you can still have their certificate. Matt, go ahead.
Is this the time for me to?
Now you can
speak?
talk now.
Or should I speak at the end of the meeting, or now is the time?
I think if you want to talk with all these people here, I don't know how long that group is going to hold out before they either attack that drum set or
Probably.
eat the cupcakes. So
It might be kinder to wait
you can
for
say
them
a
not
few
to.
words now, whatever you want, Matt. Go for it.
I printed this out. It's not long. And then I left it in the car, so it's on my phone.
Right there, I'll go get it for you.
It's okay, I have it. But I do feel sheepish that I left it in the car. Anyway, thank you all very much. Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to be part of this board, part of this community. I mean, I'll still be part of this community in this school tomorrow, but not in this capacity. As you said, Jocelyn and I joined in October of 2019. So we did not have a sense of what was about to happen. I definitely didn't know how to use Zoom in October. I don't know that I knew what Zoom was in October of 2019. So I'm very proud of the work we did then. As the world sort of shifted beneath us, as we joined with the community and worked to help the community and open the school during the pandemic, all while kind of working to offer flexibility and safety and remote options. Carl coming in and Allison coming in and this incredible group here, getting to know community members and navigating through this sort of uncertain world around us. The capital project, facilities, increasing outdoor education, supporting students in this kind of strange, not so new century anymore. Joe, I wanted to thank you for always making everything make sense to me. I don't think that was even remotely possible without you. I want to thank Dusty for making me and everyone look like we remember what's coming around the corner and always doing it with a smile. I want to thank Carl for listening and engaging with sort of perennial patience and with steadiness and with his calming expertise. Sarah, for your incredible grasp of this complex, puzzling, unique world of school law and school custom and school possibility. The administration and the faculty for taking care of our children. People always thank us for serving on the board, but with this board, it's very easy. As you guys just said, it's a pleasure. It's something I look forward to. When I arrive, it basically feels like a group of friends are sort of setting about trying to solve a problem together. So this community is in fantastic hands. We've got a wonderful little school here in a wonderful little hamlet with a wonderful group of kids. So I just feel very lucky on all those fronts. So thank you all for the chance to work together. I appreciate it.
Now that I've had a chance to think before I speak, I wanted to pick up on what Ken said, because these two people, this community should understand that we've had the benefit of brilliant experts in two key areas. We've had an educator, an extraordinarily talented educator who's able to really help us see through a lot of the issues that we face. And we've had an architect who helped us at the time that we needed it most. And to actually lose these two people at this time, that is a real loss. But we can be very grateful for the fact that you've been here.
Well said. Dusty, you want to unveil your, she's been waiting, she's really excited.
Well, you may remember, gosh, was it October 2021, I think, when we unveiled our new podium, which you can see has received a little bit of an upgrade. I have a friend in my area that does this kind of work, and he was happy enough to do this for the Garrison School and would not let me pay him. So I'm very, very grateful. I did get him a gift certificate to the brewery locally. So, so in all of the work that we've done with this leftover, this is, if some of you don't know this, all of this wood actually came from the school during demolition. And I did not want it to be thrown in the dumpster. So it was definitely a labor of love. And I took it all home, spent a few days removing all the nails and the screws and the staples, but worked on it diligently. We have some pieces down in the staff lounge as well for the staff to enjoy. And I think it also spoke to, what this school district represents and being environmentally conscious and not just letting this stuff end up in a landfill, and we've made it into something beautiful. So I had a few little pieces left over. Madeline, would you mind coming up here as well? So we do have a certificate for each of you. But I just wanted to reveal a little bit of what we did with some of the leftover pieces of lumber that came from the school, so you get to have a little piece of the Garrison School to take with you. Congratulations, and thank you so much for your service.
Dusty, can you read what they say? Can you read what they say?
Yes, I'll read what it says.
Thank you.
With grateful appreciation for your service to the Garrison Union Free School District Board of Education, and it has our new district logo also engraved. Thank you. I might need to get a picture later.
Madeline, you want to come up? I will keep it super brief. Thank you. Thank you. It's been amazing. It's been an honor serving with all of you. And thank you so much for the teacher. Oh, my goodness. Miss Arbor, Miss Gargaro, everyone that's here. We're just so excited to have such an amazing school. Max and Miles are in the back there. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing experience these last 3 years. I think I'm for 3 years. So I look forward to seeing you in the neighborhood, and I am still going to volunteer as needed here and there at the school. So this is not the end. Thank you.
Thank you again, Matt and Madeline. We will now have a short pause to celebrate our tenure recipient and our retirees, as well as our outgoing board members. Dusty has prepared some little treats for us. Thank you, Dusty, for taking care of us. What do we have? I didn't even ask beforehand.
The gourmet cupcakes that
Oh, fancy cupcakes.
become a tradition.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to move on now for board communications and presentations. Next up, we have our DEI community book read with our principal, Allison and Emig. Welcome to the podium. Thank you so much for taking the time to give us an overview of.
Okay, so thank you for having me again. I wanted just to give you guys an update on our community book read. This was through our DEI committee, and we all decided that it was a very important initiative and something that we wanted to do as a community by having and selecting a very special book called The Wish Tree by Catherine Applegate. We thought that this book really was the perfect book that could be shared with pre-K students through 8th grade, and has several themes that celebrate diversity. The whole purpose is to build a strong school community through a shared reading experience. This wasn't possible without the support of GSEF, so I just want to make that notation. GSEF has been just incredible with supporting all of our initiatives, the coherence plan, things that we're doing throughout the school year. So thank you, GSEF. This Wish Tree book was so important for bringing the school community together. The book fosters the importance of building empathy and understanding among our students, and it created opportunities for shared reading experiences to promote literacy and critical thinking skills. The Wish Tree also included various perspectives and is culturally responsive. So when we decided as a DEI committee, we had to figure out how we were going to launch this community read so that it would really kind of entice and get the community excited, in particular our students. We wanted the students to really kind of take ownership and families to really take the lead at home with this initiative and not have it be done in school. So we developed a school calendar over the course of 2 weeks where families and their kids would read together. and it would be paced out over 2 weeks. So there was a lot of different roles and responsibilities that we kind of discussed so that it could be distributed and implemented with a lot of enthusiasm. So we ordered the books for each family. Each night there was a prompt or a mystery reader video that was shared so that all the students could read along with someone. That was actually an idea that one of our students came up with just through making sure that we are inclusive. She had shared with me that, you know, Mrs. Emig, not all kids are going to have someone there at night with them to read. And, you know, my mom works late, or, you know, what about, you know, the parents who perhaps live with their grandparent? And I mean, she gave me all kinds of examples to consider. And she said, you know, I really think that you should do videos so that this way children do have access to read along with somebody. So we ran with that idea, and so many community members volunteered their time, teachers, the parents, and you didn't know who was going to be the reader for that night. So it made it, I think, more exciting for our kids. Students had conversations with their families around the specific themes, and I'll share those themes with you. They had conversations with their friends and their teachers about the connections to the themes and how the book made them feel about the injustices that were happening within the story. They shared their wishes for a better world. That was really the theme in general. It was just how are we going to make our community here in Garrison a better place, but really also look at this, you know, through a global lens. Some students even kept wish tree journals. They would knock on my door and want to share their ideas with me, or share like, oh my gosh, I saw the mystery reader last night and I was so excited about, you know, seeing Miss Ricky do the reading. And there was a lot of buzz around it. We had a school-wide assembly to kick it off, and we had grade band discussions that were led by me, and I loved that. It made me be a teacher all over again. It gave me opportunities to work in small grade band, large groups, and have deep conversations with our students about acceptance and diversity, about friendship, compassion and kindness, community, and perseverance. I was floored by the pre-K through second grade band that I worked with, because they were able to really make connections about the injustices that were really, I think, prominent within the book. They were able to articulate that, you know, the main character, Samar, was being discriminated against and was a recipient of being, you know, having racism against her. It really showed me that our kids are listening and hearing about like the important conversations that might be having at their kitchen table, and that they're ready for us to not protect them from, I think, hard and difficult conversations. So it reassured us that this was like we're moving in the right direction with exposing our students to topics like this. Our grade 3 through 8th band, in particular, actually, grades 2 through 5, we had a real deep conversation about empathy, kindness, bullying, you name it. And also, again, racism, discrimination, exclusion, inclusion. And then the 8th grade was really profound and deep. Now, the 8th graders didn't really read the book per se because they have so much on their plate. But they were involved with the excitement. They were involved at the launch, at the community launch. But what they were really involved in was at our assembly, they really discussed the injustice. It was really about social justice. So I had to, with each grade band, really differentiate and really up the ante for each conversation. And the middle school kids, I was floored by some of the comments that they would make and connections that they would make. The culminating event was also pretty impactful and profound. So what we did was we had each student take a piece of cloth, because the wish tree actually overlooked a community, for those of you who don't know, and was a very, it was really personified and had vision into the community and can see all the problems within the community. And every May 1st, the students and the community members would adorn the tree with wishes that were maybe just written on, old pieces of clothing, scarves, socks, and they would make their wish and hang it on the wish tree. And it would be a wish for themselves, for someone that they care about, or a wish for, for a better world, just like a global wish. And so we walked around the property and we selected our own personal wish tree. There's a big giant tree in the back. I thought it was a red oak, but I was mistaken because it's in the book, the character Red is a big red oak tree. They found their wish tree that they wanted to use, and we gave them their own pieces of cloth, and they wrote their wishes, and they had to think about a wish for themselves, for someone else, and for the community. And then what I did was they shared, and they were very, profound, the wishes. And that's where I was assessing where our kids are at in their thinking about these topics. And some of it was kind of sad and revealing about how they feel about themselves. In particular, even some of our students of color, how they feel and the work we have to do to create an environment, I think, here for our students to feel more included and more, even though we do our best, we can do better. And I can glean that from some of their responses. But overall, it just showed me that the kids were incredibly empathetic and compassionate and warm and caring. And it was pretty magical for me to assess what they wrote. You can even see on the wish tree now, if you went back there and started to read some of them, you'd be like, oh my gosh, the things that they would wish for. It wasn't like, I wish for a toy train. It wasn't like that. It was wishing for, somebody to not judge me for my curly hair and tell me that my hair is, whatever, too big. Things like that it's like that is important. That's important for us to recognize, that those small things, they're really not, they're big and they matter. What I did was I took those wishes to include the middle school kids. I took the wishes and I had them read them, and I had them assess the elementary wishes. And they came up with by themselves that we need to do better as older students in this community to make sure that they don't think like this, because some of it felt sad to them. That's how they assess it. They're like, this is so sad that so-and-so only has one friend, or this is so sad that so-and-so says, I wish that, I had more friends, or I didn't get made fun of for X, Y, and Z. So they really took it to heart, and they took it seriously about their place in this community and what they can do to make a better community for our young students. We ended it by draping. We had a ceremony, and we draped on May 1st the wish tree. We threaded the wishes together. In my office, it was like a bomb exploded in there. And then we, just had a wonderful time just draping it. And the kids got into it, and including the middle school students. They were watching the elementary students and then kind of creeping over because it was on their playground time when we did it. And they just wanted to read what the kids, again, read them on the tree. And so it just felt really super special. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't labor intensive. It was just real, and it felt good, and it felt important. And so for next year, I see us continuing with a community book read and being really thoughtful and intentional about what we're going to choose in terms of the topics, and really keep pushing our community to think big and to just embrace this amazing place. So that's the update.
Thank you very
much.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any questions for Allison regarding questions? I just want to say thank you. Oh, sorry.
Are we planning on doing this again next year?
We are going to be, while I'm here, doing this every year because I think that it's so worth it, and we're just going to make it better. And we're going to, I want to think of ways in which it might need to be a little bit more differentiated for our middle school students. And that's important. How can we get them more involved? We may have to incorporate some more in-house in the school, so that we can maybe perhaps have 8th graders working with the younger kids and maybe reading to them to get them more involved, because they do at home have so much homework, and I have to take that into consideration. I think doing and adding this to their plate with Regents and all that we're doing and asking of our, in particular, 8th graders to do, is a lot to then say, now read this, discuss it, do. I can see us building this in-house with them, with the middle school students. But then, yeah, it's going to only get better and stronger and just amazing. I think we need to keep doing it. Long-winded answer, sorry.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you also for including parents. I saw a lot of those mystery videos, and I think that's a wonderful way, especially coming out of COVID. I know we're like a year out or so, but to really start bringing the community in again and making sure that their voices are heard. So
Absolutely. I think it's so important, and I think next year when we do the community launch, the community book read, I think it should really tie into Deer Week. It just makes more sense. And, I think the timing is even better for teachers and kids during Deer Week. It's like you're just right at the curriculum doesn't really, it does pick up, but it's still that kind of transitional period. So I think it's a better time of year to get the community excited and rallied around literacy. So I see it being almost like a Deer Week summit, like the like the Youth Climate Summit, but having it be all centered around literacy. I think that'd be kind of cool.
sounds very exciting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. All right. Next, following that wonderful presentation, we have a fund balance and reserves fund update.
I think I would like to reserve discussing this until we get to it on the agenda item, just for time.
Absolutely. Thank you for being mindful of our time. You're hired. We'll move on to public comment. Public comment is intended for members of the community to speak openly and voice concerns. In accordance with Policy 1510 of the Garrison Union Free School District, any person wishing to speak shall comply with all provisions of this policy. Comments about specific school personnel or individual students is a violation of board policy. Concerns regarding students or personnel should be discussed privately with the superintendent or appropriate administrator. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes, and speakers are asked to conduct themselves in a respectful manner. The board will listen to comments but will not engage in dialogue. Any necessary follow-up will be noted and provided through the appropriate channel. Members of the public wishing to comment during board meetings are asked to place their name and town of residence on the sign-in sheet. Commenters will be invited to the podium. We don't have anyone signed up or anyone in the audience this evening, so hopefully next time. All right, moving on to accept the minutes. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby accept the minutes of the regular meeting of June 7th, 2023 as presented. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Anyone have any questions or comments on the minutes as presented? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Nays? Abstentions? All right, moving on to financial reports. We have treasurer's reports and claim audit reports. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District does hereby accept the treasurer's reports for April 2023 and May 2023, and does further accept the claims audit reports for April 2023 and May 2023, and the supplemental claims audit reports for January through March 2023 as presented. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Seconded.
Joe, do you have any comments? Anyone else have any comments or questions on these reports as presented?
So these are just routine financial reports that we have to prepare. A lot of this stuff was prepared in time for the auditors to review it last week.
Great, thank you. All right, if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Okay. Next, we have committee reports. All right, Jocelyn, you're up first with DEI committee.
Allison just did a great job letting you all know about the community book read. And that we would like to do it again in the fall, hopefully with deer, as I look at you. Sorry. The other thing we discussed, which I think is coming up soon for the staff, is the Suffolk BOCES trained Allison and another faculty member on doing an equity audit of books. And they learned this tool that they will use with picture books, not yet chapter books, to kind of be able to look through our libraries and decide which books are achieving whatever goals we want them to achieve. So I think the full staff is going to take a stab at it at one of the PD days or PL days coming up. Yeah, tomorrow. So they're gonna all take a stab at it. So I think that's interesting.
Fun way to end the year, is to start looking for all the books.
Looking for next year. Yeah, sure. Okay, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Jocelyn? All right. Policy Committee report, Courtney.
Pretty run-of-the-mill policy committee met. Dusty, runs all, tells us what to do, as the way it should be. We're meeting basically quarterly right now to go over whatever comes from Erie One BOCES that policies that we need to review. There's one regarding facilities that we're holding until the reorg meeting, just to have appropriate people look it over. We started having an interesting conversation about cell phone policies in school, and have asked through Carl to start up a conversation with teachers, particularly middle school, of what's the most effective ways to have technology in school. That's about it. Did I miss anything? No.
Any questions or comments on the Policy Committee report? Matt, go ahead.
For what it's worth.
Hi.
Today, I had a couple-hour meeting about cell phone policy in the middle school and high school where I work. And we just ordered these bins, have you seen these? With
Special bins.
they're basically cell phone, they're like wooden box. I'm sure Dusty could make a nicer one. With basically cell phone size slots. So when the kids have their phone with them outside of class, they go into class and they just drop it in the bin. It stays in an individual compartment for anyone worried about too much germ exchange. And then they just pick it up at the end of class. And if the teacher wants it for a lesson plan, they're right there. They can grab it. They're obviously easily accessible in the case of an emergency if a student needs their phone. But they're not in the possession of students during class. They're at the side.
Can I ask a follow-up question? Was this idea coming from the teachers, or
Yeah.
they feel it'll be an effective?
At our school, we implemented it. This is our school, but at the school where I work, we implemented it in the middle school already. And now we're looking at implementing it in the high school, which I'm sure will meet some resistance from the students.
Yeah, I was wondering
but
how your teachers will have to handle it when there's resistance.
keep you posted. I'll come back for
Yeah.
public comment.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Would you? Can we call it?
Yeah, of course, of course. But we already do it in the middle school on a daily basis.
Was there any pushback? I'm sorry, David.
At the middle school level, we've been doing it for a couple of years, so it's pretty entrenched. There's a cultural shift, but once it happened, it happened.
You could have decided to have them put their phones in the bin at the beginning of school.
We did do that originally, yeah.
And so why did you decide to do it on a class-by-class basis?
So we differentiated between the high school level and the middle school level. At the high school level, we felt like students wanted to have their phone in between classes. There was a little bit more, felt a little more age appropriate for them to have their phone in between classes. At the middle school level, there was less consensus that that was a necessary part of their day. And so we just had the buckets at the start and end of day, but there were concerns about being able to reach students or about emergency situations. And so that's when we brought in this idea of the classroom deposit.
Did you have pushback from parents who wanted their kids to have access to their phone?
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately what led to the classroom deposit instead of the start of day deposit. But it felt to me that the classroom deposit threads that needle and solves for that challenge, because the phone is always within reach of the student on the rare occasion that they might need it during class, which is, as far as I've experienced so far, hypothetical.
Do the classroom bins apply to the middle school as well as the upper school?
Yeah. Well, I think it will next year. In the past, the students have just dropped it off at the start of the day.
James, you have something to add, so come on. Can I have you, because I think she's going to want to get you on microphone. You can even just grab David's if you want.
Sure.
We did this in Warwick, and we did it with shoe trees, and they were numbered. And we had zero pushback at both the middle school and the high school from parents, no pushback whatsoever. And they just picked them up.
Did you have
the end
issues
of
with
the
kids keeping the phones even though they weren't supposed to? Like, did
No.
it become a disciplinary
No.
issue or problem for the teachers
No.
to handle?
No, they knew, every single classroom had this like little shoe tree, and, you can even get them from school specialty. They're not even made for shoes anymore. They're actually made for cell phones, and they're numbered. And so they knew that every day you're number 4 in this class. And so they knew where each cell phone was and everything. And the kids didn't even, after like the first week, they didn't even blink. They just put the phone there and
Yeah.
walked to the room.
And there's no issue of the discrepancy for the kids who have phones and the kids who don't. They just bypass it if they don't have a phone.
Right.
Right.
Right. Warwick has a similar demographic to here. Everyone had the phone, so it's just everyone, middle school or high school, but that's how we dealt with it.
Catskill did the same thing.
Yeah.
The district I came from, yeah.
My kids don't have phones, so I don't know.
Yeah, we had the opposite of pushback from a lot of parents.
Okay.
They were enthusiastic. I mean, you're not gonna get unanimity, I'm sure, in any community, but.
That's fascinating, thanks.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to hearing also, because what we talked about in committee was that, we hear from the staff, because we don't want to impose anything on the staff that makes them, or I don't actually, speak for myself, that
so
makes
if
it
you-
challenging for them.
For sure, we put in a clause basically saying it's at teacher discretion. So it gives the teacher flexibility if they want it in terms of like enforcement level, so it doesn't have to become a distraction from the lesson plan. But then by instilling kind of a broader culture of doing it, the kids just sort of automatically, like you were saying, just kind of drop it. And it becomes less a matter for the teacher and just a matter of doing it.
Does anyone have any other questions for Matt on cell phones before we lose him, or anything else?
Or anything else, educational?
No, it's 8:25.
Oh, sorry, okay. We have no other questions for you then. All right, thank you, Courtney. Going on to audit committee, we met right before this. We are kicking off the audit of this school year, because our fiscal year ends on June 30th. So the auditors have already begun their work with Joe. Joe's office is preparing everything for them. Can feel the excitement in the room. But we will get the report for the board. So the auditors will be in the week of July 17th to be in building, working with Joe's office, asking for whatever they need. And then we will have, I anticipate, a report to the committee in probably October. There's a delay due to waiting for information from the state. And then it'll go to the full board 2 weeks after it goes to the audit committee. So excitement for the fall. All right, anyone questions? Okay. Plan.
You said that with some professional skepticism.
I know, I really have to figure out how to use the phrase professional skepticism all the time now. Apparently that's auditing lingo. I'm going to try and learn all the auditing lingo too, just for fun, because it's great.
It's the opposite of cautiously optimistic.
No optimism there. Just wait until the auditors come back. We're going to be ready for them, and it's going to be a party.
I'm just gonna be there that week, just kind of hanging out.
I don't think I'm allowed to. I don't think that would go over well. Yeah, I got invited once to be the board member who gets interviewed and asked all the questions, and never again. So somebody else will probably get called this year. I don't think they appreciated my level of excitement and interest in the details of what they were doing.
Sarah's got the foam finger, #1 fan.
It was, you guys laugh at me, and I really do love it, though. It's really interesting. If you want to know about a district, you just have to read their audit reports. All right.
Like testing sewage for COVID, right? Sort of.
I mean, I can't even, they don't even sound reasonably connected in my mind. But really
Isn't that
don't.
how they got an accurate read towards the end of the pandemic?
They're doing it now.
There you go. See?
All right.
All right, guys, we're going to move on.
Always go
Planning
there
committee,
eventually.
got to follow up with that, Jocelyn. Go for
so
it.
we also just met just before this, and I'll just, thanks to James for bringing a great presentation. I'll just say two things. One, the report card for elementary school is being worked on to align with the vision of the graduate and some of the other skills and dispositions that we've all talked about. And it seems to be moving forward, and it's not obviously this year, but hopefully we'll be moving into it for next year, especially for the lower grades. Kind of moving away perhaps from numbers and moving more towards words to describe what's going on. But the word is from James that the teachers seem like this is like a good move, and they're behind it and interested in it. So that'll be rolled out hopefully middle school, some other time in a few years. And then also the Green Ribbon Award that James has talked about a lot is going to be, he's going to put in the application over the summer. And we're meeting many of the criteria, and we have a few things that we're not going to meet, but they're kind of, you can't possibly meet them because of the infrastructure of the school. So good luck to James putting all that data into the application. And that's all I'll report on for now. Did I miss
have
anything?
no professional skepticism about this application.
Such a good use of the phrase. Tell you people are going to start to show up for our meetings after we start adding a bell for that. That'd be great.
Is that good? Did I miss anything?
Do you have any questions?
No? Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully, we'll be able to welcome James to report to the full board and introduce the new report card at some point, whenever you're ready. Okay, so I'm going to move on if there's no other questions or comments. We're going to go to CPSC recommendations. Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District approve the Committee on Special Education and the Committee on Preschool Special Education, CPSC, recommendations and student placements listed. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? We move on to the consent agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, does hereby approve the items of the personnel consent agenda as presented. May I have a motion, please? Thank you.
Seconded.
Okay. Any questions on the consent agenda? I'm going to move a little quickly, but if you have questions, please speak up. Okay. All right, without questions, I'm going to go ahead and move to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right. Moving on to new business. Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby approves the new business items as presented. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Is this where you would like to speak about
Yes.
fund balance?
Yes.
All
So
right, go for it, Joe.
essentially, what we're doing here is, if you remember from the budget development, we talked about using some fund balance to support the current year as well as fund balance to support next year. And we are making those adjustments. So essentially, for the current year, we are reallocating some of the employee retirement reserve to the teacher's retirement reserve because that has the most use on a yearly basis as far as, teachers' retirement expenses are several times more than what the employee retirement one is because there's less, obviously, in employee retirement system. So $75,000 from the employee retirement reserve is being used for the current year, and $225,000 is transferred into the teacher's retirement reserve, which is what we had talked about in the budget development. And then we are going to appropriate for next year $115,000 from the retirement reserve, $322,000 from the teacher's retirement reserve towards the 23-24 budget consistent with our plan.
Do you have any questions for Joe regarding the use of fund balance and transfers? I'll also just point out that we're designating our 3 high schools for next year officially. We have contracts with all 3. And we are approving our legal services contract with the same law firm we have been using. Okay? I'm going to go ahead then and move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Nays? Abstentions? Moving on to board member comment and other discussion. Jocelyn?
No, I'll thank everybody and congratulate everybody that we already did.
Yeah.
Have a good summer.
David?
In view of that big national story about grades dropping,
Okay.
math and English reading, I'm just curious to know whether we looked at whether that's happened here as well.
I mean, in terms of like our state data, I'd have to look at the article. We did pretty well, especially in the middle school last year, and have seen growth. And I think that really speaks to the rigor of the program. And then what we heard tonight, that, all of the students who took the Regents passed is a pretty big accomplishment for both the faculty, staff, and the kids.
So there's been no slippage through COVID?
James, you look like you're dying. Come grab David's microphone. You can have a different one if you want to.
Well, first I'll say one exam that has not been talked about today that I wanted to update the board on is also on the checkpoint A, everyone passed.
The
So
Spanish
that was
checkpoint,
like,
that's
yeah,
amazing.
that was a Christmas miracle. So, to say the least. So all 3 major exams, even though the checkpoint A is not really considered a Regents, it really is. So living environment, algebra, and then the checkpoint A, everyone passed. So as far as the state assessments, you have to understand that the state is restarting all of the growth and all the assessment just this year. And it usually takes 4 years for item response theory, which is what the ELA and the math are, as well as the Regents for that matter. It takes 4 years for it to actually solidify. And we're only in year 2, really. So it's really hard to compare from year to year. You're looking at data from 2018. And I think we can all agree that we're in a lot different time, and we're still coming out of COVID with a lot of different things playing out. But overall, our students are doing very well.
Thank you. Does that help David answer the question? But I think it's also, if there's a larger question in response to those articles, maybe one of the things we could identify when we have our fun day at the retreat this summer is what presentations we want to see from the administration next year, and perhaps one on really not just where we are with test scores, but where are we with the actual, reading, math skills beyond the state tests and things like that, if that would be of use. Anything else? All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on. Courtney,
Oh, right,
you're on board member comment, right?
yeah, got it. No, I will, I've got an 8th grader who's graduating tomorrow night, and to echo what's in her yearbook, HAGS, otherwise known as Have a Great Summer. I have learned that, it's gotten so short, the kids can only write HAGS. So,
Didn't know that.
yeah.
All right. Kent?
I just wanted to congratulate the middle school instructors for that accomplishment of passing fully on the Regents and living environment. I think a couple years ago, they split off kids and they didn't have the confidence that they could do that, and we are doing that now. And that puts kids at such an advantage when they get to high school. They have so many more options. They don't have to take that class. Most of the kids that our kids go to high school with will be taking in 10th grade living environment. And now our kids have a choice to take something else or do something else completely different. Same thing with algebra. It's really a great accomplishment that the school has decided to go in this direction and challenge our kids. And the fact that we brought all of them along and we're able to do that is just tremendous.
Very well said. Matt?
Just thanks again.
Yeah, I'm really glad I let you do your speech before when we actually had people here. It's not just for us. All right, I have nothing further this evening. We're now going to move to executive session. Be it resolved, the Board of Education of the Garrison Union Free School District hereby enters into executive session for the purpose of discussing collective negotiations with the GTA bargaining unit pursuant to Article 14 of the Civil Service Law. May I have a motion, please? All right, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Nays? Abstentions? We will adjourn executive session without any further action being taken. Please log out and shut down your computers. Oh, and Matt, before you arrived, Joe read this lovely paragraph about you from Carl, who couldn't be here because his daughter's graduating from high school today.
So we'll just give it to you.
You can read it yourself.